Thank you. I didn't expect to go there here with you today, but when you
Me
said that,
neither.
yeah, when you said the phrase, I was like, oh, all right, let's go there. So I loved it. Thank you for sharing that with us. Going back to you and your story, and you talk about how you help people. Then season 2, I realized we are all experiencing some kind of post-traumatic stress right now in one way or another. Here we're going to talk about post-traumatic stress, complex PTSD, all kinds of abuse, abandonment, relationships, and suicide. We're going to have real-life examples as well as take-home tips to help you get started your healing and recovery today. I've got an amazing lineup of fantastic guests and specialists. Let's get started right now.
Welcome to Multiform PTSD. Here's your host, Tracy Lowry.
Jenny Marie was raised with a mom who hit her, programmed her with horrible thoughts about herself, and told her that everyone was born with a star, but hers was crushed at birth. She spent a lot of time in a dark closet while her mom would go out for the night. This is where she learned how to find the light in the darkness, both physically and mentally. Now she helps others find new thought patterns and crush limiting beliefs to create a new belief system. She even blessed us today by walking through an example of EFT, a therapy using tapping points to help rewire the brain and break free from limiting patterns. Where did she find the light in that dark closet? What is tapping and how does that work? How did she turn her life around and become a light to the rest of the world? Find out today on this episode. Please help me welcome Jenny Marie. All right. So hello, Jenny. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
No, thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here with you. Thank you.
So happy to hear from you too. You know, I like to do my homework and take a look at what my guests are up to. And your videos on your social media are hilarious and awesome. So I just wanted to say that first and foremost.
Oh, thank you.
Because I think you've got a great spirit and it needs to be shared. So that's just my 2 cents.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Tracy. You're so kind.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So let's go ahead and dive in. And go ahead and tell the viewers a little bit about your story, who you are, how you got here, and then we'll ask some questions after that.
Yes, of course. So I was glad to ended up here with you to share this story because I feel that people have to know that there is always light within the darkness. That's like my logo and my mission and my stand for. When I was a kid, and I don't remember very few good moments with my mom. And I can tell you now, out front, that I adore my mom. Unfortunately, my mom passed away 11 years ago. And it was a big, but that doesn't mean that I condone her actions when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So to be honest, I was a good kid. My grandmother used to tell me that if I was just sitting down on the sofa and I was just watching Alice in Wonderland all day long, I would be happy. And they will always compare that, oh, you should be like your cousin because she was just very quiet and reserved and she was always studying. But there was something inside, like my mom used to hit me a lot for any other reason. She will tell me that I was not intelligent, retard, and other bad words when she was hitting me for actually no reason. There was a reason behind that I will explain to you, but it was a constant physical abuse from her. And when she was going out at night, I will be locked inside a closet. And so there were tough times for me. I remember once that she filled up the hot tub and she tried to drown me just to, I don't know, show me a lesson. Or I will remember that she will take the curling iron and she will like, I'm gonna hit you with this if you don't behave or something. So I had a really tough time. I remember crying a lot. So crying is something for me that I don't like doing now, but now I am very sensitive about lots of things because people have shown me love. But at that time, of course, crying was not ideal and it was the only thing that I had. However, the only thing that I had at that moment was to study. And I think I love to study because there was a way for me to be out of my house and doing something for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as myself that I always had a strong willpower. And one thing that helped me the most was my imagination, the power of my mind. So
Mm-hmm.
as I told you, one of my favorite movies was Alice in Wonderland. So I've always believed that I could make my own story, my own world. And I had an imaginary friend that was called Michael, and Michael was going with me all the time. So sometimes when I see movies or cartoons and these childs are talking with their imaginary friends, I relate so much because that's what I did. Because my parents separated when I was 1 year old. So the reason behind of all of this was because my mom wanted me to have the best future possible and to raise me to be a strong woman. I am now a very strong woman. I think I have endured all her treatment, her ways of raising me in a strong way. Now I am very aware of something that she told me that I had put out in my subconscious, that was that my father said that was a lie. She said it herself, that everybody was born with a star, but unfortunately my star was crushed. And it's not like I crushed it, but when I was born it was like that. My star wasn't set like everyone else. So I didn't take it as a thing that was stopping me from any kind, but up to last year that I had my own journey because I started studying coaching,
Mm-hmm.
I found out that that belief was stopping me from achieving success. And even though I was able to find the light within the darkness in that small closet that I was in the dark, but in the dark I might have just find the light inside my brain, inside my thoughts. I didn't let anyone defeat me. And it's like this book from Viktor Frank in these camps in Germany with
Mm-hmm.
the war, and he was able to imagine he was in another place, and he was able to endure all of that as well. So I never underestimate the power of your mind and the power of your thoughts, because they are so powerful.
Absolutely. Take us back into, if you can, just briefly. I don't want to keep you there by any stretch, but take us back to when you were locked into that closet. What were the thoughts that were going through your head at that time as a younger version of yourself?
Yeah, so I imagine, I remember that I was in this closet. I think I was maybe 6 years old, and I was there for no reason. I think she was just going out and she was just annoyed with me, and she didn't want me to see me cry anymore, crying, and then she was just putting me there. And what I did was I entered a new reality when I was in this closet. I was just imagining a better world, or just being with my friend, my imaginary friend who was Michael, and I was just talking to him and being away from that present reality. And I was just imagining other things. I don't remember specific reasons where she will say, "Oh, I will put you inside of the closet for a reason." It was just out of nothing. Unfortunately, my mom had psychological problems. I
Mm-hmm.
remember that we were going to the doctors all the time, hospitals. She was always trying to think that she was sick, and she was not sick, but she had something. She had a mental illness. So we went to the psychiatric ward and the psychiatric hospitals. I saw lots of bad things there, and I will just tell her, okay, you're there, but just let me be in the car, even though if it's very hot, I would prefer to be here because I really don't want to be there. That was very shocking for me to
Right.
see the psychiatric ward. And I think now that we are putting it this way, I think when I entered that closet, I was entering this new imaginary world like Alice was doing it. So I think that's why I related to Alice so much, because when she opened this little door, it was her own world. So I think that was my own
Right.
world, and I could be whatever I wanted there.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that with us. As a nurse, and I've had loved ones also in psychiatric wards and, lockdown units. And I've had experiences there for sure. And it is kind of scary, even as an adult. It's something that you just can't prepare yourself for, I think. So I don't blame you at all. I remember when my loved one was in there, they wanted me to come visit him every day. And it was work. And I was an adult, and it was hard to kind of muster up that strength to walk in there because it's a very uncomfortable place to be. So I can't imagine as a child. So let's go ahead and focus more on how you were able to find the light in the darkness, as you say. And you kind of spoke of how you did it in the closet, but in life, how did you turn that around?
So as I said before, I think I have a very slow, like all my thoughts are very powerful. And I have learned that actually from my mom. She taught me affirmations. She taught me metaphysics. So I would be very good at school, and that was my light at that moment. So I will always get A's at school. I would memorize poems to be in a contest. So I always wanted to excel at school. So I found that, the brain likes gratifications. He likes rewards. And for me, the only reward that I could have at that moment was my academic rewards. So even though I had a very hard situation at home, I would prefer to be at school and to learn, because I knew that I could become something out of that. That, and of course, as I told you, metaphysics, she did something very good. She raised me with the I am affirmations when we were going to school. So anything that you want to achieve or want to create a new identity or a new reality, you just have to say, I am, even if you don't feel at that moment that you are. For example, so I'm a coach, and I have a client who her father said to her that she was an ugly fat cow. And then, of course, you don't know anything better than you are an ugly fat cow. But if you say to yourself, I am beautiful and I have the perfect body, and your mind learns by repetition. So that's what I did. I said, even though you said I am retard, I am smart, I am connected to the divine intelligence, I can do this test right. To be honest, I didn't study as much at home. I didn't study the whole night for a test. I just was very good at school because I love going to school. I was just always fighting for the first front place at the class because that's what I wanted. I just wanted to be there and forget about my situation at home. So metaphysics and the law of attraction was something very big for me, something that I appreciate that my mom taught me. I love that. I think willpower and the power of my mind, and then that I didn't want anyone to defeat me. That was a big thing for me to find the light within the darkness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that you talked about the law of attraction, and you said something, even though I feel this way, or even though I've been told this way. Are you involved in tapping at all?
Yes, so that is one of the tools that I teach my clients when they want to tap away their limiting beliefs or tap away anxiety. So it's a wonderful way because you touch some acupuncture meridians in your body that will help you to release that energy. So yes, and actually I just got it like last year, but I always thought of myself, I don't want to believe that I'm a retard. I am smart and I am beautiful and I am successful. So yes.
Absolutely. You kind of briefly explained what tapping is. Could you maybe walk us through one, or just kind of show us what we mean by tapping? Just give us an example of the tapping points and kind of how you walk through that.
Yeah, sure. So tapping is a technique that you could use for lots of things, like to release anxiety, to release these limiting beliefs. Would work for if you have sleeping problems. That thing we could help you to tap into some alternative acupressure points on your body that will release that emotional distress. It's similar to acupuncture, and they based on these energy spots. The first spot is based on Chinese medicine. And so the first spot is the karate chop. When you make a fist, and then you take your three fingers with your other hand and you tap where, what is this called in English? This part.
I call it the karate chop point. I call it karate chop point too, but just the outer side of your hand.
Yeah, the outer side of hand. So you will say, even though I feel anxious because of a test, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So that is the phrase that you'll have to do. So even though I feel distressed at this moment because I need to go on a test or etc., I will deeply and completely love and accept myself. Then you need to take the three fingers. We're gonna tap with the three fingers at the top of your head. So the top of your head, you tap 4 or 5 times, and not lightly, but know that it would hurt you. So even though I feel stressed about my current situation, I don't have money, for example, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. The third tapping point is at the beginning of your eyebrow, so the top of your nose. So even though I feel like I can't deal with this right now, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Then on the outer part of your eyes, so the same, deeply and completely. Even though I feel distressed, I feel anxious, I feel that I can do my work, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So under the eye, so even though I feel that I can't deal with this right now, I feel stressed, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Then under the nose, even though I feel anxious about what my mother will say, what my father will say, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Then on your chin, even though I feel that I don't have this star that everybody has, and I can't be successful, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And the collarbone, so even though I feel that my mother said that to me and I feel so sad, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And under the arm, so for the girls, is like where the brass strap goes on. So even though I feel that I can't deal with this right now, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And then you repeat it until you feel better. And it's actually surprising because it actually works. And there is an app, it's called the Tapping Solution. It's not mine. I'm just, I think, promoting things that it's not mine, but it's very good because it will show you exactly how to do it and other techniques. But usually that is the sentence, that even though you feel this way, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So you will start to accept whatever is happening, even though whatever you were experiencing at that time.
Right. What I like about it, and express your feelings about it if you like. What I like about it is so many times, these healers and energy healers and positive gurus, I love them all. They all have their place, not bashing a single one. But what I like specifically about this one is it's not shoving down the bad feelings. It's not trying to pretend that those bad things didn't happen or pretending that you don't have those negative feelings. I personally feel like any kind of pain, whether it be physical or emotional, is our body's way of telling us that there's something that needs fixed, that there's something it's trying to get its voice. So in doing that, the way I understand it is you go through and, even though I feel like crap, or even though I feel bad or feel stupid or ugly or whatever, I deeply love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely. Yes.
I have to accept that. And past that, I still love myself, even though, right? And then you can even go a step further and start tapping in those positive feelings. Like you said, I am beautiful. And so you're kind of giving it the voice to then release the bad. And then you're bringing in the good to fill that space. Thank you. I didn't expect to go there here with you today, but when you said that, when you said the phrase, I was like, oh, all right, let's go there. So I loved it. Thank you for sharing that with us. Going back to you and your story, and you talk about how you help people in their transition of their thinking and using their mind for good and helping them see the light and to get past those negative self-talk issues. Do you solely use tapping?
So one of the things that I do, and we just have to be very open to this. So as I told you, my mom told me that my father said that my star was crushed. That was a lie. She was the one who said that, but she was using this as a manipulation tool for my father to give us more money because my father wasn't great at giving us child support. So what I teach my clients now is put yourself on their shoes and understand the whole situation. Why did she or he or whoever did told you this lie? Because it's a lie. I will touch base on that first. What happened is that everything has a positive intention. So your parents, and I know that lots of people here are listening and they are not having a great time with their parents. They're having traumatic situations, but they are doing the best they can with the resources that they have. And that's one principle that I would like to put everybody like to open mind. So my mom's positive intention was that she wanted a better future for me. So manipulated me to tell my father, oh, I feel bad, please give us more money because I want to be successful. I want to have money to pay my school, to start to, I don't know, get extra classes or etc. So that's the way that my mom thought at that time that was the correct way to push me to ask him for money. Because I will remember she will say, okay, this is what you have to tell your father to give us more money. And then if I didn't say it correctly, she will hit me. So, she wanted me to have the perfect future that she wanted maybe for herself and for her, because our brain likes to avoid pain as much as possible and seek pleasure. So the drugs and alcohol are giving you satisfaction temporarily, but it's a satisfaction that your brain wants. Another thing that I had is I go through some beliefs, and first I would like to explain what is a limiting belief. For example, that was my limiting belief, that I couldn't be successful. And limiting beliefs are thoughts or opinions that one believes to be absolute true. So I couldn't figure out that I could be successful because of course I didn't have a star like everyone else. So they tend to have a negative impact in my life, stopping me from moving forward and growing on a professional or on a personal level. You get into an altering behavior or a bad behavior like procrastination, conformism, overthinking, anxiety, I don't know, imposter syndrome. So as a result of those beliefs, we define ourselves as worthless or fat or ugly, or, it's very important to understand what is first the belief that you have. And for example, one tool that I can share today is just to question the belief. So first you need to write down the belief that you have. For example, I'm sure one or two here will identify with something that they were said, that you are weak because you couldn't do X, Y, or Z. So the first thing to do is to ask, is this true? Yes. Okay. Are you sure? Because we have stubborn beliefs, because we don't know, it's a conscious faculty from our brain. So you need to ask, okay, is it absolute true with 100% certainty that this belief is true? Are you weak? Not really. And you can ask, if you still get yes, I'm weak because you are so stubborn, do you think someone else will have another perspective? Or is this an exaggeration of the truth? So you ask yourself, okay, maybe I'm not weak. Okay, so why do you feel when you believe this thought? I feel inadequate, I feel powerless, I feel sad, I feel angry. Okay. And then now, who would you be without this thought that you were weak? Oh, I actually could go and fight in a combat, for example, I don't know, boxing combat, or I could do X, Y, and Z. When you feel that you could be weak, you could be strong. So, and then turn it around. Turn it around is, I am not weak. I am a survival and have grown through intense trauma. So I am strong. And then you will just, your mind learns by repetition. And as I said, in affirmations, you can tap this with a EFT. I am strong. I am strong. I am not weak. I am a survivor. I have grown through intense trauma. Or you can do affirmations. I am strong, and then try to embrace it, embody it, and feel like you will feel when you will believe these thoughts. So, how would you feel? So, imagine yourself 5 minutes, this best version of yourself when you are strong, when you are capable of doing things, and because that reality already exists. I am a believer of the quantum field. So this reality of this person that is uh, excelling in something and strong, it is happened. It's already there. You just need to visualize it and feel how do they feel with that belief, and that will come eventually. And it's a compound effect. Maybe you don't see it in 2 days. Don't give up. You will see it with time.
Absolutely. I love that line of questioning because it just challenges it. Sometimes for those who, grow up in abusive homes or abusive relationships, and those limiting beliefs just really start creeping in and you feel that it's fact. Sometimes we may feel like we have nobody else, and it's time to find it within ourselves. So kind of challenging those limiting beliefs is kind of what I'm hearing you say. Just kind of, what if that wasn't true? What would it look like? And what would I do if it wasn't true? And then just kind of work from there. I think that's beautiful. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I like to ask this version of this question to all of my guests during season 2. To that listener who maybe is in an abusive situation, whether it be a relationship or family, and they feel like there's no way out, they're starting to really fall victim and feeling victimized in those deep dark closets, whether it's physical or an emotional dark closet, and they're not even sure how to get started and if they even want to try and dig out of that hole. What do you say to that listener right now?
First, the end of my story was that when I was 13, I know that I had a privileged situation because my father was able to help. So to ask for help is not a sign of weakness. Being vulnerable is not a sign of weakness. And asking for help, it doesn't mean that you're weak and you can't do it on your own. Sometimes we need a little push. Mm-hmm. So if you have a relative that can help, but if you really don't have anyone, I am from Mexico, and I know that I could go to court and ask for advice from a lawyer, or most probably you have counselors that can do that at school or in the municipality, or there is always someone that is doing this for a living because they want the world to be better. And that they are not alone, because there are some non-profits that actually, that's their own job, to find people that are struggling like we did, and that they can help. Because I understand it's very strange to have someone like me that has a strong willpower and that is relying on an imagination. I was lucky that I thought that way, maybe because of a cartoon, but that's what I thought. And that helped me through. But gladly I was able to ask for help. So either a counselor or psychiatrist. My mom didn't take it very well when she was sent to the psychiatric ward, but I think they could have helped her because she had a mental illness.
Right.
So asking for help is the best advice that I would give anyone. There are people there, and you are not alone there. This is a common thing now in our humanity, unfortunately. I wish everybody would say, oh, I live in a happy childhood and I was so happy and I was
Right.
It's rare. It's
Mhm.
rare. So, and now we are in this humanity that we are with this social media and comparisons, and you always want to be like the other, but then you don't have the resources, and then you relate in drugs or alcohol, and
Right.
that will mess up things. So
Yeah.
just keep in as well, just tell your story, tell a different story to yourself. So I have this phrase from Tony Robbins always ingrained in my mind.
Mhm.
The only thing that's keeping you from getting what you want is the story that you keep telling yourself.
Uh-huh.
So tell yourself another story. You have the
Mhm.
power. And he had a hard childhood as well.
He
And look where
did.
he is at.
Absolutely.
So it's like, oh my God, I come from a broken home. I can't be successful. Well, I
Yes.
can give you a list of people that did it just because they wanted, and they told another story to themselves.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing your story and showing us that strength and that it is possible. Part of why I do this podcast is because I want people to hear what, like you said, you're not alone. You're not weird. You're not crazy. You're not alone. And therefore, other people may not know exactly how you feel, but other people have been able to overcome and found, like you said, beautifully, the light through the darkness. If other people have done it, so can you. And that's why I love bringing beautiful souls like yourself on here, is to show that you can do it, and it's okay to ask for help, and it's encouraged to get help. Really, I feel like, especially those of us who have had abusive pasts, for some reason we feel like we need to do it by ourselves, and asking for help just is really hard. I think part of it has to do with we don't have a lot of trust in a lot of people, because we've been shown at an early age that trust is hard to find, and it doesn't look the way we thought it should. So, but find someone that you can trust, and let them help you. I think that's beautiful. And another thing, social media can be, like you said, a tough place to be, because we can get caught in comparing, this is their life and this is my life and they look nothing the same. There is that. But now also, because of social media, we can follow Tony Robbins, and we can follow these other big gurus who can help teach us, if we can't get out of the house, if we're really limited in our resources, find a computer, get online, go to YouTube and listen to Tony Robbins or whoever aligns with you. There's lots of people out there that you can use as kind of a mentor. In the book I just finished writing, I actually have a thank you to all my mentors that have no idea they're my mentors. Like, they don't know who I
Mhm.
am, but I'm thanking them because they had a huge part of my recovery. So even if you feel like you don't have someone in person, you can learn from the best. You can learn from those who have done it before you. So thank you so much for being one of those people today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you. I feel blessed to be with you today to share this
I
message. Yeah.
Yes. And we are very, very honored to have you here. Thank you so much. So, how can people find you and what you do?
Awesome. Yes. So I have a website. So it's www.jenny Marie is my last name, Marie, coach.com. Or they can follow me on Instagram to try to see my funny, not funny videos. It's the same
Great.
name. So Jenny Marie Coach, that's my Instagram handle, and I'll be happy to find them there. I have a Facebook group. It's called Fearless High Achievers Development Club. I'm sorry, it's club that I share just motivation every day, of course, and on my Facebook page. But of course, it's easier to find people on Instagram with these Instagram handles because maybe there are thousands Jenny Maries, and so yes,
Right.
they can, and I'll be pleased. So I got certified as health and life coach, but since I started my practice clients, everybody was turning up with these limiting beliefs as I said, you are not alone. Everybody has it. So I got so passionate about limiting beliefs that I am now, I baptize myself as a self-sabotage coach, because when we have these limiting beliefs, we self-sabotage our success. And we don't do it on purpose, but that's what we do. So that's what I do. I help people with their beliefs and their sabotaging behavior so they can become better persons, become the best version of themselves that already exists in the quantum field.
Yes. And I love that you say that, because it's already there. It already exists. It's already inside you. Sometimes we just have to get rid of those layers of junk to find it and let it shine.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jenny, for being here. I will put all the information in the show notes. It's been a pleasure to have you. And
thank you.
Good luck to everything you're doing. I love your mission, and thank you so much for being here and sharing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. You are a wonderful soul. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hey, it's Tracy. I'm just here real quick to remind you to please subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening. We're on all major podcast platforms, including Google, Apple, and Spotify, and also on YouTube. So make sure you're subscribing. Every subscription helps us out, helps us reach more people, and likes and comments. I appreciate all of those so much. I want to thank all of my guests and helpers behind the scene. That's why we're here, so people can know that they're not alone, get some real good tips on how to better their life and to heal and to really be triumphant in their life and have a life that they can be excited about again. So thanks for being here.